Hello, it's Mr. Obi. So, I know what you're thinking. Sometimes it's difficult to just believe. So, is there some science that backs up the growth mindset and provides proof that you can become more talented and intelligent? Yes, there is. It's called the plasticity of the brain. Have a look at this animation. Do you know you've got more brain cells than there are grains of sand on the entire planet? These are the brain cells. The posh name is neurons. Now, one neuron is connected to another neuron by a neuron link, which is what you're seeing there. Now, whenever you have a thought or move a part of your body, there's an electrical signal that gets passed from one brain cell or one neuron to another via the neuron link, and electricity fires through. Now, if you have a look at a cable, everybody knows that electrical cables, the copper part of the electrical cable is very important. But what many people don't realise is how important the plastic insulation is around the outside, because that keeps the signal from being lost. It keeps the signal within the neuron link. So, the plasticity of the brain, what's all that about? Well, Einstein, one of the greatest scientists ever to live, before he died, scientists said, can you donate your brain to science? So we can chop it up and have a little look inside and see what it's all about. So, okay, it was a little bit bigger than everybody else's, but that wasn't the main significance. The main difference was that Einstein's brain had 70% more glial cells. Now, at the time of his death, we didn't really know what glial cells do. But with the advances of brain scanning techniques, we do know what the glial cells do. Glial cells create a chemical called myelin, and myelin insulates the neuron pathways, which makes the electrical signals when you're having a thought or moving a body part travel faster. And faster signals create a more skillful approach to things, and that obviously increases your success. Here, let me show you what I mean. In real life, there'd be a massive network of neurons required to lead to mastery of a skill, but I'll just simplify it in this diagram to help you understand. Imagine that you're trying to develop a new skill. It could be anything really, but I'll just say learning to ride a bike, because most people can relate to that. So, to learn to ride a bike, you need to make a connection in your brain between this neuron and this neuron. Okay. Now, so you've took your stabilizers off, and the first time that you tried to make a connection there, the connection falls short. So you fall off your bike and there's a fail. But you don't give up. You pick yourself up again and you try again. And every time that you try, it's the neuron connection is grown. So you try again, you fall off. You try again and you fall off. You try again, and then eventually you can manage to do it. Now, have you ever had that feeling in life where you couldn't do something, but then all of a sudden you can do it? And something just seems to click into place. Right. Well, that is the moment when the neuron connection has been made. Now, remember, this is just a simplification. So in real life, that would be when a sufficient number of neuron connections has been made. Now, just because you've made that connection now, that doesn't make you the BMX bandit. What happens is you keep on practicing, and every time you practice, your glial cells lay down some myelin. It creates myelin. Remember, that's a chemical that insulates the neuron connection. It's a fatty chemical, and fat is an insulator. So what I was saying before is about that cable. Everybody knows that the cable in the middle is important for carrying the signal, but just as important is the myelin around the outside. And the more you practice, the thicker, it's been proven scientifically, the thicker this myelin gets. And what that does is scientists have worked out that an unmyelinated neuron connection, the electrical signal travels at 0.5 meters per second. Okay, so the electrical signal shoots through there at 0.5 meters a second. Now, if you've got it myelinated, if the myelin is around the outside, so lots of the green stuff in my diagram here, the electrical signal can travel up to 100 meters per second. So that's basically 200 times faster. Now, if you're playing football or something like that, how is it that Lionel Messi can receive a football in a game and turn on the ball and discern the situation faster than anyone else and turn more skillfully and quicker than anyone else? Basically because he's practiced more than anyone else and he's myelinated his connections more than anyone else. He might even have more connections as well. Remember, a neuron is just a brain cell. A neuron link just means a link between two brain cells. Now, isn't it such a shame if you've ever gave up trying to learn something in the past? Your circuits might be sitting there half completed and you gave up before the circuits managed to connect. Now, that's the thing. You can't see the changes going on inside your brain when you're trying to learn a new skill. So you can get frustrated thinking, oh, this isn't working. I'm not getting anywhere here. So what I'm saying here is no, deep inside your brain, you are getting somewhere. The neurons are working hard to try to link together to make the neural circuit. Do you understand? Now I know what you're thinking as well. That was just an animation. So we could make up anything and tell you anything via an animation. So this is a real-time brain scan that you're about to see. So that's a real-time brain scan. That shows you the neuron links forming, and if you don't use the links, they snap. So knowing about the plasticity of the brain helps you understand you'll make mistakes as the neuron links are forming because the links are weak at first. Don't want to upset anyone when you see this, but here's a real life story to demonstrate the power of the brain's plasticity. Now this girl's brain is not more special than anyone else's. Each and every person's brain will be able to do this as well. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait for part 3 to see the story about the girl demonstrating the power of the brain's plasticity.